that we are founding members of Coalition Azimio. And we have invested heavily in Azimio Coalition. And if anybody on our side has a problem with Jubilee, it is not for us to leave Azimio. And there is no way they can remove us from Azimio. The bone of contention, Mr. Speaker, sir, between us and our colleagues is an ideological difference that we have. We've heard here very clearly from the distinguished senator of Homa Bay when he said that they believe that the president and the Kenya Kwanza government is a legitimate government, but in their eyes, they are illegitimate. Whereas in Jubilee, we're arguing that the Kenya Kwanza government and the president of the Republic of Kenya are legitimate through and through. That is the difference. And Mr. Speaker, sir, for the minority leader to stand here and mislead the House, that the dispute is between the minority side is between Fatuma Dulo, Senator of Isiolo, and the minority side is misleading the House. First, they came for our Public Service Commission seat. Then they came for Senator Kamar, Professor Kamar, in the House Business Committee. Now they are coming for Senator Dulo. Who is next? So should we just sit? Exactly. Should we just sit aside and watch them cannibalize the members of Jubilee one by one? And they come to this House and say that the Speaker cannot referee between the political parties, which is fair. If the Speaker cannot do it, the courts can do it. And that's why Senator Dulo and Jubilee went to court to stop this injustice which is going on here. We have not left Azimio. We have a difference. And I stood here last week and said that we should sit down as members of the coalition and iron out our differences. But the members here do not want to do that. So what choice are we left with? They cannot have their cake and eat it too, Mr. Speaker. And that's why we will stand with Senator Fatuma Dulo. They took our House. We will stand, the two of us. It doesn't matter. We will stand and we will fight our case. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chalage, let's hear from this side.
Mr. Speaker, I rise under Standing Order 190 on the Senate Business Committee and its role, Mr. Speaker, and also on the presiding of the House of the Speaker, that is standing on the number 18 and 19, and also standing on the number 17 on the conduct of the business, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issue, you have given a ruling that you shall communicate. It is only fair that if there is any decision, and I'm surprised because my friends here, including Senator Otsozi, are alleging that they have not seen a court order, including Senate Minority Leader. Yet Senator Sifuna, Mr. Speaker, if you are keen, he was waiving a court order. So, and you used it when you are presenting yourself through you, Mr. Speaker, just protect me so that I prosecute my point, is that this intellectual dishonesty is unfair, Mr. Speaker, because you have given a ruling. Why are they challenging your authority? Yet they want your authority to use to prosecute the agenda, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is out of order. If there is any issue, Mr. Speaker, you don't sit alone in Senate Business Committee. The membership of Senate Business Committee includes the Speaker as the chairperson, the Senate Majority Leader, the Senate Minority Leader, the Senate Majority Whip, and the Senate Minority Whip. So if there is any issue that it needs to be tabled or to be prosecuted through the normal procedures, Mr. Speaker, it should be through the Senate Business Committee where you preside over, Mr. Speaker. They should not make the country believe as if the decisions you make in this House, or even now you carry order of business in this House, is because as Senator Katuri Murungi, not as the House of the Speaker, which is Senate Business Committee, Mr. Speaker. And I want to say, to go on record, Mr. Speaker, that even Senator Oburu Odinga has alleged that we are poaching. I don't know whether that is parliamentary or not. But the point is that, Mr. Speaker, as Kenya Kwanza and as a ruling coalition, Mr. Speaker, we need to be honest with this country. Because if you are not respecting the rule of law, Mr. Speaker, then why are we here, Mr. Speaker? And therefore, even Senator Haji, Mr. Speaker, Senator Haji and Senator Oburu Odinga, Mr. Speaker, Kenya coalition, Mr. Speaker, as a ruling coalition, everybody is welcome. Even if today ODM wants to join government and de facto government, there is no problem. Because that is the essence of political parties, democracy, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm still on point of order, Mr. Speaker. I don't know why Senator Ledama is getting agitated, and I was listening to him, Mr. Speaker. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, let no one intimidate you, challenge your authority. You are the authority and absolute authority, Mr. Speaker. If you have made a ruling that we proceed with Senate Business Committee, so be it. Anybody who misbehaves and rule, Mr. Speaker, standing order 123, 121, they should be thrown out. The way I was done.
Honorable Senators, I think this issue is well placed where it should be. Yeah? I want to give Senator Onyonka 1 minute and we conclude this matter.
Mr. Speaker, thank you so much. I really beg you, sir, that I'm beginning to be very discouraged being in this house because I hardly get an opportunity to speak when I have to. And my seniority should give me precedent. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, under the Powers and Privileges Act, if you sit and look at what that act talks about, you as the Speaker of this House has no business discussing or deliberating the issues which are taking place between Jubilee and the Azimio coalition. Mr. Speaker, I really want to congratulate my brother Mungatana. You've been in this house for a very long time. What you have said today has made me have extreme amount of respect for you. Let us not sacrifice this house on the expediency of the political wars that are taking place in this country. Let us protect this house because, Mr. Speaker, this house is protected for me to come and discuss anything, particularly issues of national interest. And I may not be able to speak them out there because somebody may sue me and say that I have actually destroyed the name and made allegations against them, which are not true and they're all false. But this house, the privilege and the protection that I have in this house allows me to discuss anybody and anything so long as it's within the law. That is the standing orders and the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, I want to beg with you, be greater than many of us, be greater than even yourself. Make a ruling that protects the Senate. Allow the two parties to go and fight out there, but allow this house to be independent and for the house to do what it is legitimately meant
Senator
to do.
Onyonka, I gave
Thank you, Mr.
guidance
Speaker.
to the way forward. I did that. And I want us to make progress. Kindly, next order. Next order. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.